Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bill's Wargame World and Death in the Desert. We're going to get right to playing. Death in the Desert Wargame rules are free on the internet, Eric Burgess. So you can find them there. And also on the No Stress Miniature Wargaming Facebook site, I have the modified version for 54 millimeter 132nd. Oh, I guess I need to mention this before we get playing. We have our leaders. We have Colonel Handsome right here. Okay, so Kevin of the Chuckleheads is in this game. And let me bring the camera up a bit so we can see more of our Bedouins. Walt Leach, the leader of the Chuckleheads. He's this Bedouin leader. Now, I have a fellow named Bruce. He follows the channel. And Bruce is right here. I'm not sure where I have the camera pointed, but Bruce, in fact, I don't even know where Bruce lives. But he's a very good contributor to our channel. Then we have Kim Metis, who's helped me with my board war games and a real nice fella. And he is our overall Sheik commander. So I thought it would be fun to include some of you viewers in my game. All right, I'm going to pause the camera. Let's see who the Legionnaires are. Okay, we have Dave M. of England. He lives in the Shenandoah Valley, I guess. So he also is the one who gifted me that artillery piece. Okay, Lieutenant R.M. Now, Lieutenant R.M. lives in Great Britain, England, and he goes by the name of Ronald McDonald, but we're going to call him Lieutenant R.M. for this game. Okay, and then we're going to have to go to the other side of the table for the rest of our Legion leaders. Okay, over here we have Lieutenant Vince. Now, I spoke text to his son, retired Sheriff John of Broome County, New York, and he's quite ecstatic that we included Lieutenant Vince. Vince, of course, is the 93-year-old Korean War vet that makes military vehicles for me to put in our war games. And it's really neat that he is so active still. Now, our last leader is a captain. So Jack Brendel, he is wearing red, and Jack Brendel was in Vietnam. He served there, and he is a vet. And I gotta say, Jack used to be in the Gettysburg area Gamers till he moved to Arizona. So we're going to see if our leaders die, and I think it's going to be a little bit more, I don't know, exciting that some of you viewers are actually included in the game. And it's really weird to be home without the wife or the 3 dogs. It is quite quiet here. All right, everyone, I'm going to set up the camera and we'll get playing. Okay, each side rolls a d10 for initiative, and you pick a unit and activate it. So right off the bat, we know the blue is the French. The Bedouins, the natives, they get to pick a unit and activate it. All right, now, this first turn, I'm actually going to spend a little time on the rules. Death in the Desert, free on Google. Just go out there and Google that. So we have some choices. Okay, we can fire, we can charge, no fire, or we can put hold fire. You can also move and fire at a -1. Okay, it's not simultaneous. All right, so we're going to put a hold marker, and we're going to put that on that unit out there. Okay, this is how this works. We have our 20-man unit. We put out this chip. This represents it has activated. And then we have a gray chip. We put that on top, and that means it can interrupt with a fire, or so that's what that unit can do. All our Bedouins are armed with 4 muskets, Giselles, even though some may only have swords, spears, or Some even have Martini Henrys. The figures, by the way, are Conti, Armies in Plastic, and I think some Timpo. All right, so guess what we do? We're going to get the dice, and I'm going to roll them right in front. Okay, and here we go. There you. And for this first turn, I'm actually going to play through it. So we have an 8 and a 3. So the French get to activate something. All right, and we are going to. Now we do not see the scrubby guys; they're hidden. But our artillery piece is going to activate, and we're going to lob a shell at that building with all those Bedouins, because we do see them. Okay, this is our first fire with this unit. I think it was Luke. I can't remember, but we have to test for units to see what their ability is. So a 1 or a 2, it's poor. 9 or a 10, it's above average with a +1. I rolled a 6, so that gun crew is average. All right, and I know I had some people say that all the French should be a +1, but we're going to use the rules as close to possible, as pure as possible, okay? So we're going to launch a shell all the way over to that building. So we'll pause the camera here. Okay, now I got all these large figures around the building. We're going to give them a -1 to be hit. Our French artillery piece needs 6s through 10s. All right. So grab some dice. We did the range. We're at maximum range. And we get a -1 to hit. So now it's a 7 or higher. And we get 4 D10s. 7 or higher, and we're lobbing a shell out there. And we got 1 hit. All right. So we put out a casualty marker. And we roll 2. And our leader is not been hit. Okay, there are no saving throws for the Arabs. However, the Legion, we do have light wounds, medium wounds, or serious wounds, and then dead as a doornail. All right, so I got to mark the artillery piece as fired. So we put out the blue chip. Okay, and Dave M., you lob the shell. And the next thing we need to do is we have to put out a morale marker for that unit. Pause the camera. Okay, everyone. Our morale markers are red poker chips. And Death in the Desert, the Legionnaires, they fight to the death. They do not test morale because they just know that if they run, they'll get chopped up. So I'm going to roll the dice here. White and blue for see who goes first. And we got the French have been activated again. All right. So this is how this works. And that French unit there is going to go ahead and move. And I'm going to pause the camera while I do that. All right. Well, it is 2d6 plus 6. And we get 5 plus the 6 are going to go 11 inches. We do it like brother against brother. We'll just move our leader out. And then we'll move our French troops forward. And we'll pause here while I do that. Okay, so Lieutenant RM has moved up. And he's in line. And he's got his Lewis gunner. And, you know, I could fire at -1, I believe it is. Okay. However, I'm going to put out a hold marker. And I believe that's correct for the rules. If not, I might have messed that up. But so there we go. That way, if I'm attacked, the Legion can fire. And I believe If you're attacked and already have fired, you can roll in the charge phase with half figures. So you're not totally caught out of guard. And we're going to go ahead and roll to see the next activation, which is Bedouin. All right, we'll pause the camera here. All right, I'm going to move this unit, and they're going to go right up and over. I'm going to try to slide them along the edge, along here where I have a lot of stuff in the way. All right, and this is just giving you an idea of how this plays. And of course, our movement for Bedouins, 3d6 plus 6. So I got 2 right here. Where's another one? All right, so we're going to move this unit here. Oh, wow. 17, 23. They're already out to here. Okay, so they are moving out, and when they melee or fire, we'll see what their grade is. And I apologize, I can't remember who told me to do it that way. I don't know if it was Dave M or a Luke fella or E4 Airman, but that's how we're doing that. And the rest of these turns, I will not be doing it lengthy like this. I'll do before and after of each turn. We have French. Okay. You know what? I'm going to move up the machine gun along the hill. And that's 2d6 plus 6, 6, 7, 8, 14. However, okay, we lose the high die. They only go 8 inches. Okay, everyone. So our machine gun team is moving eight inches. Okay. And they get one rifleman as support, the other rifleman. There we go. All right. And I need a blue chip that they've moved. And if it moves, it does not fire. Lewis guns do, but the machine guns don't. All right. Let's see who goes next. We have a Bedouin. All right. Pause the camera here. This is the plan. We're going to send these Bedouins, try to get up here on this high ground so they can snipe down on the infidels. I guess you could see me move them up there. And I got lots of dice right here. They go 3d6 and plus 6. Lose the high die. All right, they can move 12 inches. So they're going to start heading up the sand dune. And we just go from the lead one, put the others around, sort of like, and get out a poker chip that they've been activated. And there we go. And let's see who goes next. So now hold markers, they hold on for the next turn. So let's see here. And we have another Bedouin. All right, I have to activate one of these other units. And I don't want to send my cavalry out yet, but we will move them. They move 6d6. So there's 3, 10, 11. I can move 27 inches. We're not going to go that far with them. And so there's Kim Metis. He has a huge board war game collection, everyone. I think he's in Oklahoma. I forgot. Kim, I'm sorry, I forgot where you live. All right, so we got the horde here. They need to be blue chipped. They moved. They're on hold fire. Okay. Let's see who goes next. I think we have 2 native units left. And let's see what happens. I almost rolled a d20 against a d10. And once again, it's another Bedouin. So we'll move this one. All right. You know what? We're just going to put a hold marker. And there we go. So they're not moving and they're going to hold fire. And we got several Legionnaire units that haven't moved. And this time, it's a Legionnaire unit. Now pause the camera here. All right, Captain Jack is moving, and he's got 6 plus 6. He can go 12. We're going to lose. He rolled really bad. All right, they just get to the crest. Captain Jack and his men barely get to the crest here. And in fact, because of the losing the high die, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're not going to have the entire unit did not make it over the crest. And that's where we're at. And they get a blue chip. And I'm going to have to double check the rules here on this hold fire and movement thing. And just make sure I'm doing it correctly. I think I am. If not, we'll get it worked out. And I got a roll here. We have a 2 and a 10, so it's a Bedouin. The last one is that unit there. And they've been hit, so we're going to do a morale check. All right. Now they have 20 figures. They lost 1, so you take a d20. And all we have to do is roll anything but a 20. 1 through 19, they're fine. They have Lieutenant Walt Leach, Sheik Walt. I can see him being a sheik with a harem. And we roll the 6, even with Walt's help there. They are fine. They remove that, and they get a blue poker chip. Okay, so right now, that unit hasn't moved. And that unit. All right, we'll check now. And the last Bedouin will go. They're staying, and they're doing a hold fire. Okay, so this unit's staying right there, and they're holding. And that means our last French unit over the other side with the supply mule or camels will go over there next. Okay. 6 plus 6 is 12. This is Lieutenant Vince's unit. Lieutenant Vince is here. And all right, everyone, that completes one whole turn. So turn 1 is completed. I checked the rules on the hold fire thing. If you don't move, you can put a gray chip out, is what I'm using for hold fire. If you move, you have to fire when you move at a -1 is what I'm doing, and you don't hold fire. if you are charged after you moved, there is a section in the charge thing where you can try to fire. All right, so we'll pause the camera here. So as an example, Lieutenant RM moved and I put a hold fire, and that would not have happened. They could have fired when I got done moving, but they do not get a hold fire. Okay, so that could be interesting if you move first and then you're being charged. Death in the Desert are the rules. They're free on the internet, and the 1/32 54mm versions that I created with extended ranges and such are on the No Stress Miniature Wargaming site in Facebook in the file section. So now I'm going to pick up all these blue poker chips, and we start turn 2. Okay, everyone, I'm going to start, I'm going to pick up the poker chips, start turn 2. I'm going to put this turn 1 video all together and go ahead and post that. May 4th, by the way, is a Sunday. That's the Gettysburg Toy Soldier Show, and Paul Knapp will be there, Knaapp or Napp. Don't forget his channel on YouTube for the Toy Soldier show that he has for toy soldiers and G.I. Joes and all. It's a very cool channel. And that's it for now. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Let me know what you think. And Walt Leach and Bruce and Colonel Handsome Kevin, Kim the Arabs fighting against Lieutenant Dave of Novak, England, and Lieutenant RM of England, there we go, and Jack Brendel from Arizona, and Lieutenant Vince, and he lives way up in Broome County, New York. So we got a nice selection of viewers and gamers here, and it's quite enjoyable. These rules are really, really nice. So stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and be true to your school. Kevin, I hope you're enjoying this also. Thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget, my videos help support historic sites.